With our next panel, predominantly because almost all the panel have got flights to catch, and we certainly don't want to keep them in Miami. It's not a bad place to be stuck in weather-wise, especially when you're compared to New York winter, where Xavier is heading. But let me introduce our panel who are just coming up now and give you a bit of an overview for the next half an hour or so of what we will be discussing. So we've started with the outbound aspect, when a club wants to leave North America and expand to new regions such as the Indian subcontinent, China, and APAC. Now we're going to invert that model and look at inbound and discuss how clubs, leagues, and federations who are based elsewhere can benefit by moving to America, or teams like the LA Galaxy with Tom at the end here can use their international presence globally and thus grow from America. So introducing our panel from the far side, we've got Tom Braun from LA Galaxy, Vice President of Business Operations. Sitting next to him, delighted to welcome Patricia Marchak from Club America. In the middle here, we have a German contingent. Yeah, it's nice to give everyone a round of applause. I enjoyed that. Shout and scream and show a little bit of energy, because we're finishing off the conference here. Let's do so in the most vocal terms possible. No heckling, though, I must say. Wolfgang Hellmann from Borussia Mönchengladbach, Head of International Projects, and then the nearest person to me here is Xavier O'Callaghan from FC Barcelona. He is the Managing Director of the Americas, and you also played handball professionally, didn't you, Xavier?
Team handball, yes. Long time ago.
So a man of many talents. Let's start with you then. Barcelona. You come over to North America, everybody globally knows exactly what Barcelona stand for and what they're about. What is the appeal of setting up an office here in North America, in New York specifically?
Well, the main reason why we are here is very clear for us. It's a potential market for growth. It's a place where you can find new engagement with new population who could be interested in soccer. In Europe, it's already, set up. Everybody is soccer is so popular in Europe that everybody is having their team, and you cannot change that. The degree of fidelity of the fans is so huge that you cannot change from one team to another team. So in Europe, it's almost covered with all the teams, and the new markets and new places to be is China, is USA. It could be places where soccer is not so popular and where you have a room for improvement, when you can grow, where you can reach new fans, and at the end is what we are looking for in those markets. People who could be interested in soccer, and they can be fans of LA Galaxy, but they can be as well fans of FC Barcelona. Why not? I'm a huge NBA fan. I love Barcelona. We have a basketball team, but I'm a huge fan of NBA teams as well. So it's room for everybody, and what we're trying to do is to contribute to grow soccer as a sport, and of course to engage with the people who love soccer and Barcelona.
Wolfgang, Barcelona have some advantages in the sense that their global brand has the likes of Messi, there's an affinity with the colours, and Borussia Mönchengladbach, like many German teams, has that culture within Germany, fantastic fan base, wonderful engagement. But when you come to North America, there'll be less people that know the players, the matches themselves aren't always at preferable times because it's on a European time scale. So was the benefit for you, and perhaps even more broadly, the Bundesliga being in North America?
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, if he comes and says, I'm FC Barcelona, everybody knows what it's all about. But when we come and say Borussia Mönchengladbach, most of the people here, they can't even spell the word, the second one. And some of them, oh, Borussia Dortmund, right. Oh, hey, how are you? And you're from soccer, right? Yes, but a different club. So usually we have to explain who we are and what it's all about. And that was actually the major challenge for us to tell them what our club is all about. And I started 4 years ago from the scratch, actually, in terms of internationalization. So the Bundesliga even wasn't that organized then. It was just about selling media rights, but they didn't have a marketing concept or something like that. So we started actually from zero, and it was, of course, creating a brand, an international brand. And we have an image at home, and that's all about youth development. We are one of the top-rated clubs in Germany for youth development, always have been. We have a great record of producing even world-class players like Matthäus Effenberg, or now Marc-Andre ter Stegen, who started with us when he was 7 in a camp, actually. And then he went to the academy. So this is our image, and we have to tell the people what we can do, and America, China, and even Southeast Asia are main target markets, because we are really focusing on markets that are looking for a good youth development. And the person who was here from US Soccer a session before, he said, yeah, what we need is good coaches, actually, and we have to look to Europe because the good coaches are there, and that's what we're here for. We're always looking for substantial partnerships where we can coach the coaches, where we can train with children, and even set up a structure to produce elite players. But apart from that, we are always good in education also. And it's not only to producing is a materialistic word, developing a good football player, but developing a good person. That's always part of our philosophy.
Patricia, tell us a little bit about the Club America fan base here in North America and some of the challenges that you face to engage them.
Well, I mean, I think fortunately we have an advantage over the other clubs because we have a very large existing fan base in the United States. Obviously, a lot of Latinos, specifically Mexicans that have immigrated. So we've got first, second, third generation fans already. I think the most important thing for us to do, and what we're always striving to do, is engage our fans, whether it's digital or through games that we're playing in the US in a meaningful way. Our games are obviously broadcast in the US, and our TV ratings are there. We have sponsorship. But what is it that we can do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, to make sure that that fan isn't becoming an LA Galaxy fan, that we're keeping them engaged, and Liga MX, that we're keeping them engaged, you know, with our team. So I think the biggest thing we did that has paid dividends for us is we created our own property. It's called Tour Aguila. We manage our games. And so we're able to control what we're providing to our fans and then also engage with our sponsors so that they're having contact with our fans through FanFest, through various activations that are taking place. So challenges, I think it's remaining relevant. And how do you make sure you're doing that? Understand who your fans are and make sure you're communicating with them.
Tom, LA Galaxy's always struck me as LA by name and obviously location, but by nature, a much more international club, far more so than most, if not every other club in MLS. Inter Miami may come into the franchise and catapult themselves into a similar bracket. Is that fair, that you're MLS and LA focused, but internationally thinking? And if that is the case, how have you achieved that particular status?
Sure. So we're international because of the names that we've brought in. So David Beckham, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, they've been a part of our culture. I don't know if the Galaxy is solely about those names. I think our brand is an international brand. It's based off of championships and winning. And first and foremost, we're a successful club that has to win soccer matches, win in Los Angeles. So the panel before us, we're talking about looking at China and looking at India. And it's really challenging because Zlatan is not just Swedish. He's not just English. He's global. So to enter in those types of markets and actually have a real game plan, you have to have a game plan. You have to have a direct approach to do it. So we are international. There is a learning curve in MLS. We're still building a brand in Los Angeles. We're building a brand in the States. However, we have these players and we have to take advantage of them. So we do what we can. We will do international tours. We do have an online presence. Los Angeles has a very strong Latino market. They have a ton of Club America fans. So we're bilingual. Everything that we do, from press releases to social media, is in English and is in Spanish, because we know in Los Angeles, 50% of the population probably speaks Spanish. So we do things in Spanish to relate to them. So on a global scale, we probably could do more internationally, but our players are more than just one specific country. We have to touch everybody in a unique way, but we're also looking to monetize it. And we're still on the early stages, the maturity stages, to be able to do something like that.
Tom and Patricia, you were sort of joking that there's a crossover, and really any football club is going to have an element of competition between fans, and if they're playing at the same time, there's always going to be a battle for audience as well. But is it a good thing generally, and this can be extended to the two of you as well, that more foreign clubs want to come into the backyard of heartland MLS football, or is it actually a case of competition and thus still a sense of each business to its own?
So let me ask this question. Would Barcelona not come to the States if I asked them not to? right? So they're going to come. Barcelona has that right. Club America has that right. The Bundesliga teams have that right. So for me to say I don't want them is unrealistic. So we find ways to work with them when they're in market. We'll do community clinics. We'll support their matches. Now, MLS is my top priority, of course, but I'm also realistic that they're going to come. So why don't you find a way to work with them wherever possible?
Yeah, we don't intend to play in MLS. We want to create our team in Barcelona. We want to keep it there unique. We don't like this model of having different teams in different cities using the same brand. So for us, it's being Barcelona, and we want to be there. But we are trying to contribute here in the US is to grow the product. So we are coming, we are helping to the sport, and we are contributing with our academies, for example. We are bringing our talent, our know-how to the US, and we are contributing to create players mainly for the American soccer, not for the Barcelona, because it's really complicated that a kid playing in the US is going to be good enough to go to Barcelona. Maybe one, maybe two, or hope so, 3 or 4. But the vast majority of the players that we are coaching in the US going to stay here in the US and going to help to promote and to improve the level of the game. And this is a contribution that we are bringing to the US, and this is part of what we are trying to do. We are not just to take away something, we are also contributing.
I've also talked to several youth directors from MLS clubs to give them the impression that we are actually supportive. We don't want to come here. Oh, we are legally not allowed to come here and take a 15-year-old from the US to Germany. Has to be 18 before we can take him. Even or if he has an Italian pass or something, yes, we can. But it's very important for us to create an area here to create conditions where he can develop here in his home country. And for example, we have just signed a player from New York City. He's 16 now, and he will come over when he is 18, but he stays with New York City. Because we know it's a good environment, and we are working together with them there in terms of connecting or exchanging how he's developing there. So that's the model, actually. And they are, of course, they are getting paid when he comes over. So we are, and even if we do camps or academies here, if we see a player who is very good, there's no use for a player to stay in our academy where we actually have grassroots football. So he's far too good, and so he has to be in a competition. So of course we want to tell the academy, the local academy, to get him in, right? And this is a supportive way in terms of sports, and also we can support each other in terms of communication and marketing.
Actually, Club America and the LA Galaxy, we do a lot of work together. Actually, I talk to Tom every week.
Daily, almost.
And Liga MX and MLS have forged a lot of partnerships. New tournaments that we're doing together. Our champion every year plays their champion every year. So, I mean, I think that the leagues at the league level and then even at the club level understand we are very close geographically. There's a lot of crossover, obviously, with Mexicans and Latinos in general in the US who are fans of our league. And finding a way to work together and supporting each other is beneficial to both sides. I think, and that's the key. I think from our perspective, when we work with the Galaxy, when we're working with Tom, obviously we're looking to gain, but as are they. And if we forge good partnerships, both sides win.
Are you encountering more internal than external friction when looking to expand on the international stage? One of the more reported stories would obviously be La Liga, who have twice tried to come to North America and stage fixtures, only to find that it's been blocked in law courts, and yet outside of La Liga, the Spanish Super Cup can go to Saudi Arabia. And there's obviously a slight paradox between those two decisions. And sitting hearing you two talk, and I know Wolfgang, you mentioned it as well, you're all happy to do partnerships, but sometimes there's actually red tape within your club, within your league, within your federation, stopping you do what externally two separate parties might want to. And I'm sure it would be the same if MLS chose to potentially stage a game outside of North America. It might follow the mold like the NBA and happily work, but there also could could be an issue where the MLS fans, the MLS clubs, the MLS league say, sorry, we want to stay on our own doorstep. Talk to me therefore a little bit in as much detail or as much specifics as you're comfortable about internal friction and how hard that is to actually get over to get the things done you want in the sphere of internationalization.
There's no friction for me, honestly. That's a federation and a league decision. That is not a club decision, so I can't really speak intelligently to that. There's probably more friction from individuals at the foreign leagues or Barcelona's who might be playing in the States that can better comment on that.
Well, I would say that as a managing director of Americas, I would love to have an official game in the US. That's something very good for me as a managing director. But the club position is very clear. We want to do it if everybody agrees on that. We don't want to create a confrontation. We don't want to create a problem. If everybody agrees that it's good for the soccer, it's good for us as well. But what we don't want to create is a mess, a big problem, a big discussion, because it's far away for what we want to do. So it's a matter of consensus, find agreements, and if everybody feels comfortable, we are ready to do that.
I'm going to just repeat what Tom said. I mean, at the club level and what I'm doing on a day in and day out basis, those decisions are being made, at the federation level, at the league level, and with basically everything that's happening between the two federations with the upcoming World Cup, all of those things, there are a lot of conversations taking place. But I think on our club, we're coming to the US, we are forging relationships directly with MLS clubs, and we're doing the best we can to work through any issues, personally.
Wolfgang, if somebody said, just to confuse the North American market, that Borussia Mönchengladbach could play Borussia Dortmund in America, how do you think it would be received by the Bundesliga and the individual clubs? Is it hypothetically something in a competitive fixture that either you or your league might be open to?
I don't think we'll be open to that. I mean, really a league game in the US. No, friendlies, yes, but football in Germany is so traditional. And I think the fans won't accept a league game being played here like other countries, for example, Spain. They do it because they have lots of Spanish-speaking supporters, especially in the south. But we don't have that big of a community here. And as I said, football fans are so traditional, they won't accept a club playing actually at home to be the game played in LA or somewhere. That's not, I think, not a relevant thing for us.
I want to move on to engagement and start with you, Tom, because a club like Barcelona, any football federation that comes to North America may not understand what fans expect, what they pay in a variety of sports, which is higher than in Europe, and their expectations of, from start to finish, from digital to at the stadium, how they will be able to enjoy that experience, from quality food and beverage to, in sports that are not flow sports, halftime shows and entertainment and so on. How good do you think, or give us an overview of, how LA Galaxy engage with their fans and what other clubs from outside North America can learn from that?
It's all about fan experience and everything that we do, maybe unrelated to when Barcelona comes to Los Angeles, but when the Galaxy play in Los Angeles, it's a competitive market. We have two of every single team, basketball, soccer, hockey, baseball, NFL now. It's competitive. So you are fighting for the dollars, discretionary spending. You could go to the movies, you could go to the beach, you can go hiking, you can go skiing, you can do it all. So you have to service your fans the right way, and you want them to come back. So the in-game experience for us is hugely important. But in Los Angeles, it's bigger and it's more meaningful. We'll do pyro, we'll do video board things, we activate on the concourse, we do anything and everything that make the fans have a great experience from the moment they drive into the driveway to the minute the Galaxy win and they decide to leave. So,
Patricia, what makes the viewing experience or the digital experience at Club America distinctive in your view?
Well, I think we started, like I said, a few years ago, we created our own property, Tour Aguila, and we've been doing this now for about 3.5 years. So our fans during this time have learned what we're going to provide them. And it's a lot of simple things, but it is fan engagement. It's about them coming to the stadium, feeling safe, knowing there's going to be a legend, there's going to be the mascot, we're going to bring a trophy, there's going to be an opportunity for them to really feel like a part of the club. And we're starting to really reap the benefits of that because it is something now that we're able to move around stadium to stadium. Previously, we did a lot of just one-off games. We didn't have sort of a common thread, and we felt like we were not providing our fans the best experience. And I think, that's sort of what we've done to change our presence in the US, and it's paid off.
And Wolfgang, when we think of the Bundesliga in North America, it has an office in New York. We know about Bayern's growth, and their supporters groups over the last kind of decade or so have spurned from 6 to something like 250 different supporters clubs. Are you finding that at your level as well, that you're actually engaging with fans almost on a one-on-one or 1 to 10 basis? You're finding out the bars they go to, you're getting them together to kind of cult watch early morning games and so on. Yeah. And if that is the case, how much growth have you seen in this region in that context?
Well, first of all, I must say, as a kid, I didn't like Bayern, but now as a business guy, I must say they have done a tremendous job here. They were even earlier here than the Bundesliga. And for us at our stage, it is, we only use our own channels, our own media to communicate with the fans here. As David said, it's important to create content, to create some things you can talk about, some stories, and then you can set up things with paid media or fan activation. And we're not yet there, to be honest.
And just finally, because I know 2 of our panelists have got flights to catch, if we do have questions, the ones that stay will be hanging around here, so maybe talk to them individually. Javier, it's not just about live games, it's not just about fan engagement, is it? There's other things you can do in North America and Barcelona, much like the other 3 panelists, but we'll finish with you on this, are quite ambitious, are quite innovative, and that kind of plays into the bigger La Liga philosophy as well. So for you, you have your men's team, they will come over here and play in things like the International Champions Cup, maybe a competitive fixture one day, but NWSL is on your radar. Doing things like fan experiences and museums is on your radar. Having academies in places like Long Island is on your radar. So talk a little bit about the other things you do away from the men's team.
Well, mainly what we are doing in New York is business development. So we are looking for global companies with global interests. So we are not taking away an American company because we cannot compete with the NFL, with the NBA, with the MLB. So what we are looking for companies who are watching the potential of soccer in a global level and allow them to leverage the investment through our brand. This is one of the most important things that we are doing in our office. But we also pay a lot of attention to the academies. We have 10 in the USA. We have more than 3,500 kids playing on a daily basis with FC Barcelona methodology. So it's amazing what we are doing, and it's an incredible tool for us to promote the brand, to present the values to the kids who are growing in the USA. So we have as well a foundation. We have a foundation and running a program together with the Department of Education in New York. We are in 16 schools there, trying to foster the integration of kids with disabilities with normal kids, and we are very proud of that because we are giving back something to the community, and it's really, really important. Then we have the communication and all the PR department who is helping to develop the brand and to explain what we are doing. So mainly that is what we are doing, and all the digital aspects are dealt from Barcelona because we want to have a global brand approach, and it's difficult. I'm fighting with them because we want to get a team in the US because the local approach is really important, and trying to create stories that match with the people who are living here are really, really important for us. But step by step, and I think that at the end we will manage to get them in New York, but it's my next target. And last but not least, we would like to have our merchandising and licensing team here because this is the place to be in that business pillar, vertical, and I think that sooner or later we have to start thinking to sell by ourselves our products and our merchandising in the US.
Great stuff. Well, good luck to all of you. It's been fascinating to get your opinions on how you're going to expand. These two, Patricia and Xavier, got 7:15 flights to catch, so someone get them a passport and a case, and they will run off very quickly. Please give them all a round of applause to Tom, to Patricia, to Wolfgang, and to Xavier. Thanks for your time.
I have to apologize for my socks. They are not good enough.
Yeah, that's true.